All right, now we're going to take a look at Speedball, a solo piece played entirely on the acoustic guitar. Before we get into the song, let's talk about the tuning. We're tuned down a half step, and we have a drop D tuning on top of that. So here's what the low E string now should sound like. Here's the 6th string. 5th string. 4th string. 3rd string. 2nd string. 1st string. Okay, we're going to break this song down into 4 parts. We're going to have an intro, an A section, a B section, and then we'll have an ending. So let's check out the intro. One more time. So we're going to start off on the high E string. We're going to play 1, 3, 5, 2 times on the high E string. To the B string, 2, 3, 5, 2 times. G string, 2, 3, 5, 2 times. D string, 2, 3, 5, 2 times. A string, 4, 5, 7, 2 times. Now the bottom string open, and then we're going to play harmonics on the bottom 4 strings. So on the 12th fret, directly on top of the 12th fret, without pressing down, I'm going to get some harmonics. Okay, so once again, if we put all of that together, so one thing that's important here is to use alternate picking. I'm starting on a down, down being towards the floor, and then I'm continuing down, up, down, up. So every time we change strings, we're starting on a downstroke. Okay, let's move on. Here's the A section. Okay, so here we're starting in 10th position. We have a 6-note phrase that repeats. We're going to start by hammering on from 10 to 13 on the G string, play 10 on the B, pull off 13 to 10 on the G string, and now play 12 on the D string. Play that 6-note phrase 3 times. Now we're going to do it one more time, but the final note will be on the 11th fret of the D rather than on the 12th fret. So here's the final 6-note phrase. So here's what we've done so far. Now we're going to do the same idea from 9th position. Hammer on 9 to 12 on the G string, play 9 on the B, pull off 12 to 9 on the G, and play 11 on the D. So there's a 6-note phrase. Play that 3 times. On the 4th time, lower the 11th fret of the D to the 10th fret of the D. Now we're in 8th position. We're going to do the same idea. It's going to sound like this. So here we're hammering on from 8 to 11 on the G, play 8 on the B, pull off 11 to 8 on the G string, and play 10 on the D string. Now we're going to play these 6 notes 4 times. We're not going to have the shift on the final note. Okay, so let's put this together. Here's what we've done so far for the A section. Now we're going to shift to 5th position on the G string 5, 6, 7. Repeat those 3 notes to the D string 5, 6, 7, 3, 4, 5. Now to the A string 3, 4, 5, and hit the bottom string open. So that run starting in 5th position, once again, sounds like this. Now we're going to repeat everything that we've played so far for this A section, but we're going to add this phrase. So all I did here was play a D minor chord, 1st fret high E, 3rd fret B string, 2nd fret G string, and I'm going to strum the chord from the top, and I'll strum backwards for the first 4 strings. And then I'll strum from the bottom of the chord upwards 4 strings. And then I'll stop the notes from ringing out. And that'll give us the A section. So let's put all of this together one more time. And let's try it a little faster. All right, well, if you thought that was fun, just wait till we get to the B section. Here we're going to start off with this phrase. So for this phrase, we're going to use the middle finger of the picking hand as well as using the pick. Every note on the G string will be played with the middle finger. Otherwise, we'll use the pick. So I'm going to start off by playing the A string 1st fret, and I'm going to play the 3rd fret of the G string. So I'll play the A string with the pick, G string with the middle finger. Now on the G string, if we just look at the G string now, I'm going to pull off from the 3rd fret to the 2nd fret to the open G string. Now I'm going to hammer on to the 2nd fret of the G string and pull off to the open G string. So altogether it would sound like this if I include the A string with the 3rd fret of the G string as the first hit here. Once again. So I'm doing all those pull-offs and hammer-ons while I'm trying to sustain the note on the first fret of the A string. The next note is the third fret of the D string. So if we put all of that together, there's our first 6-note phrase. Moving onwards, G string, remember everything on the G string will be played with the middle finger. I'll play the open G back to the third fret of the D, open G, and now I'm going to pull off 3, 2 to the open D string. So if we put that all together, here's the phrase. So that's 2 6-note phrases, and we're going to repeat those 2 6-note phrases that will give us the first measure of the B section. Now we're going to have a scale run. I'm going to play on the A string 1, 3, 5, D string 2, 3, 5, G string 2, 3, 5, 5, 3, 2, D string 5, 3, 2, 2 times, A string 5, 3, 2, 5, 3, 1. Okay, so once again, here's that run. Now we're back to the first measure. So there's nothing new to learn there. We've already done that. Next measure sounds like this. So here I'm going to play the open A string, hammer onto the 5th fret of the A string, then I'm going to play the D string open. Now the same idea, but this time we're going to hammer on from the open A string to the 7th fret of the A string, followed by the open D string. Moving up 1 fret, I'll play open A, hammer onto the 8th fret of the A, open D. Move up to the 10th fret, open A, hammer onto the 10th fret, open D. Now we work our way backwards, open A to the 8th fret of the A, then strike the open D string. Open A, 7th fret A, open D. Open A, 5th fret of the A, open D. Finally ending on the 4th fret, open A, hammer on to the 4th fret of the A, open D. If we put all those numbers together, here's the phrase we just learned. Okay, so let's review now. Here's everything that we've done up to this point for the B section. Now at this point, we're going to repeat the first 3 measures of the B section, which is this. Our next measure is almost identical to the measure we just played, but sounds like this. See if you can spot the difference. The only difference is rather than starting with the first finger on the first fret of the A string, the first finger was on the second fret of the A string. Everything else was identical to the previous measure. So if we put those two measures together, starting with the first finger on the first fret of the A string and then moving it up to the second fret, it would sound like this. Next measure is slightly different. Here we're going to strike the chord with the pick rather than using the middle finger. I'm going to play the open A, 2nd fret D, 3rd fret of the G string. So here we're going to use the pick to strike the open A, 2nd fret D, 3rd fret of the G string. And then I'll use the same pull-off hammer-on phrase that we've been using. Pull off from the 3rd fret of the G to the 2nd fret to the open G, hammer on to the 2nd fret of the G, pull off to the open G. Now grab the 3rd fret of the D string, open G, we'll use the middle finger here, back to the 3rd fret of the D, open G, pull off 3, 2 to the open D. Now we're going to repeat this phrase, but we're going to end slightly different. Rather than finishing off with that pull off from the 3rd fret, 2nd fret to the open D, we're going to end by playing the open D and the 7th fret of the A string. So the second half of this measure sounds like this. So if we put these two pieces together, here is the measure. And now the madness continues. Up in 5th position, here's the next phrase. So here we're starting off on the 7th fret of the A along with the 7th fret of the G. I'm going to play the A string with the pick, G string with the middle finger. Then I'm going to do a pull-off hammer-on lick on the G string. So starting from the 7th fret of the G, I'll pull off to the 6th fret to the open G, hammer on to the 6th fret of the G, back to the open G. Now I'm going to grab the 7th fret of the D, open G, 7th fret of the D, open G, and now to the D string, 7, 5 to the open D. That'll be a pull-off. So the whole phrase so far goes like this. And we'll do that 2 times. So here I'm playing the 6th fret of the A along with the 7th fret of the G. And then on the G string, I'm going to pull off to the 5th fret to the open G, hammer on to the 5th fret, pull off to the open G. Now grab the 7th fret of the D, open G, 7D, open G, pull off 7, 5 to the open D. And we'll do that whole phrase 2 times. And that wraps up the B section. So let's try and put all of that together now. All right, now we're going to take a look at the ending. I'll play through it and then we'll break it down. So we start this ending with an A power chord. That's played on the bottom 2 strings on the 7th fret. Now I'm going to do this lick on the bottom string, 5, 6, 7, 2 times. To the A string, 4, 5, 7, 2 times. D string, 2, 3, 5, 2 times. Same thing on the G string, 2, 3, 5, played 2 times. Also on the B string, 2, 3, 5, played twice. 1, 3, 5 on the high E, played 2 times. Now we're going to work our way back down. 2, 3, 5 on the B string, 2 times. G string, 2, 3, 5, 2 times. D string, 2, 3, 5, 2 times. A string, 4, 5, 7, 2 times. Now we're going to play the bottom 3 strings and then stop. So I just put the side of my right hand against the strings and also mute with the left hand to get that percussive stop. Now I'm going to play harmonics on the bottom 4 strings. And the final run starts off by sliding into the 15th fret on the high E string, followed by the 14th fret on the same string. Now to the B string, 15, 13. G string, slide 15 to 12, play 11, 12, 12, to the D string, 12, back to the G string, 11. Now with the 3rd finger, I'll play 12 on the G string 2 times, 10 on the D 2 times, slide 12 to 10 on the A string, and we end the whole thing by playing the bottom string along with the 9th fret of the A string. So once again, here's the whole ending section. All right, well now that we have all of the parts, let's try putting them together up to speed. Check it out. And that gives you all of the parts for Speedball.